Welcome everyone for another game, and this is the last game between Even Worse Timing and Deja Vu. Both teams are 1-1 at that moment in the tournament, and so the team that win that are going to go for the semi-final. The stakes couldn't be higher, and for that match we're going to focus on Pablo, which is the carry of Even Worse Timing, a very proficient carry, and he's gonna play the Murdock, and let's see how it fares. So third game between Even Worse Timing and Deja Vu. Both teams are 1-1. So the team that won that game was advancing towards the semifinals. So it was do or die for both teams. And for this match, we are going to follow the point of view of Pablo, which is the carry of Even Worse Timing. And so it's a Rictor Murdock lane. So this time we have a kill lane that is facing a Belica Drongo. To be fair, I'm not a big fan of the Belica into the Rictor because that means that the Rictor is pretty free to just like hook whoever he wants, and that's suddenly like a kill. And like Belica can poke a lot, but poking like the shield of the Rictor doesn't really matter. And so like I feel like the Belica is kind of weak into this type of lane. Every time also like you try to step up to be able to deal some damage, you just get butt shock away. The drone is kind of nice, but that's basically all you have overall in that lane. But that can set up like some good gank from like the Rampage that we can see that Deja Vu is going for the Rampage again. While the other side, we have a pretty standard like very strong frontline comp with the Steel and the Rictor that set up like all the CC. Then we get the Grugs for additional damage and CC and kind of create like kind of a link, this bruisery type of Grugs. And then we have like the Murdock and the Howitzer to dish out a lot of damage while being protected by all this very strong front line. Yeah, like I really liked in the finals when I was on the desk, like to actually comment the draft between villains and Even Worse Timing, because there was like a lot going on those drafts, like trying to kind of counteract what the enemy team was trying to go for, and it was like a very nice battle of like seeing that happening. So here, as we can see, like one of the strengths of the Belica plus Drongo is that they can, of course, get like the lane control. And so they decide to use that to get like the level 2 first. But the problem by doing so, like that's something that a lot of people like actually do is like you pressure like very hard, you get the level 2. But if you pressure a little bit too hard, that means that the enemy get the level 2 as well after the wave crash on the tower. And you didn't get any advantage for that situation. And the wave is like still like kind of in the middle. It's like slightly closer to the wave, to the tower off the side of like Even Worse Timing. So we need to do slightly better than just like hard pushing. And that way we're just like guaranteeing. And a super nice hook by Ray. They're just gonna get like meet up by like a little bit of auto attack plus the buckshot. But that's also a bait. Now we have the rotation from Shin. The landmine is actually like horrible from the side of Shin. That would have been like maybe a kill if the landmine was slightly better. But we got the flash. Now Shin has to be careful. Pablo is trying to rotate to try to help, but actually he's going to just focus on his farm. And in the end, Shin get picked up. Rotation was kind of good, but then you have to respect the fact that the enemy team can rotate. Once again, big wave going under tower. Here we have Pablo staying very aggressive, forcing Gucci away. And like the idea from Pablo from that situation was like to force people away from like the wave. And so like you can see like once again like Jay forced to be back to base very early, like lose ton of farm from like this and ton of experience. So it's actually like pretty detrimental for him. To be fair, rest was 0-3, but in the game of the Chef against NSN Bax EU, I don't think the rest was the issue. Like I feel like the rest was actually like giving them a chance to fight the game because it was on Nefty. And if Seismic was playing like slightly better on the contest and not W key, like I don't know what's that, probably rest would have gotten a win. But yeah, like I don't think rest is the pick when there are so many tanks. And so here, like, we're just playing slow. Of course, it's going to slow push, but there is no need to actually like go too fast with that slow push. And that way, like, you can like guarantee that you get like a pretty big crash, and also like it's easier to crash because you get like the next wave coming. And so like you don't have to arch shove every single lane when you don't have to. So kind of a slow early game despite the rotation from Shin. We try to go for the rock from a long range, trying to follow up with Goosey seismic assault. But then, ooh, Jay walking into the trap. So that's just gonna be like a lot of damage. We just go for a few auto attacks. We go for the buckshot, and now Jay has to be really, really careful. So Pablo placing like some trap here and there, and actually here like Jay getting absolutely surprised, and that means that then it's a hook from the side of Ray, and immediately good solution. Well, Toasty, like on the meta talk this Friday, we will have access to all the pick and ban of overall and the win rate of everyone. So you will be able to have access to that information. I personally already know, but I have to keep like my resources for the talk show. So early game, pretty slow to be fair. We're looking for maybe like the level 6. As soon as we get the level 6, we can see like probably like some action going on. The level 6 of Drongo is slightly superior to the level 6 of Murdock when it comes to lane only. But of course you get the long arm of the low, which can be like actually like used to create some space on the map and secure some skill. But the level 6 of the Rictor is like 1,000 times better than the level 6 on the Bellica. Here we have import coming from behind, trying to go aggressively, like just get the shield bash. Then we got the bull rush into the hook, into the shield slam. Import setting up that gank perfectly, and that's a nice double kill for the side of Team Even Worse Timing. That can probably like result, I would assume, in them trying to force the Fang Tooth. When you get like a double kill on the dual lane, that open up like a small window to get the Fang Tooth, and you can see that they immediately go for it with like Shin rotating as well. But that gank was so well set up by Import, and as a carry, once again in competitive gaming, like the early game is not really like the moment you make your plays. It's more like the support, the jungle, that's the people that are going to set up the kills for yourself. Of course, like your job is like to doing great to not get killed. But like it's not really like the moment you go like for those crazy plays, those like flash in, these type of things. It's more like for the later on, once you get like some farm up.
Allied tower under attack.
So we're going back to base. We got the Vanquisher finish, while on the side of Jay for now we don't have it. So if Jay is going back to base, if he doesn't get the Vanquisher with his base, that means that there is like a huge window of opportunity for the side of Even Worse Timing. Vanquisher is kind of nice on Murdock. True, like your auto attack speed is very slow, but that means that your first auto attack does a ton of damage because you get like the physical penetration plus the lot of physical damage, and also that means that your long arm of the low is actually like also like pretty strong at actually like finishing target, because now you get like the 6% like execute on top of it. And we got like a nice hook here. Unfortunately, we don't get like any trap to be placed by Pablo because he already placed his 2 trap. But that's still like a little bit of damage. Ooh, Simba going for the flash in onto Pablo, and then the nice Swambo combo by the enemy team. Very well played by Simba. Like here, I was like, oh, Inferno is used a little bit early, but suddenly flash, knock back immediately, not letting Pablo any chance to actually react to the situation. And suddenly that's a nice chain CC with the Seismic Assault, the damage, gag grenade, everything, and Pablo is sent back to the base. Yeah, indeed, it was a very beautiful ult by Simba, very nice rotation. We do have Pablo respawning. So we're going to team back, and as you can see here, Ray like sacrificing a big portion of his health to just like keep the lane pretty close to the tower, so that way like they kind of safe. As you can see, Mercy is looking around like they want to find another pick on Pablo, but because Ray did a very good job at keeping the wave around here, they can't. And now we have like import on the side, and here we just like last hitting, keeping the wave close to your tower. When you don't have like anything to create, you don't need to create space on your side of the map. Just like don't hard push. Just like farm calmly and you will get there. So we can see here 83 CS to 66, already like Pablo being like quite far ahead from Jay. And being that far ahead is not really like that much about the kills, even though we have like the 2 kills. It's also like mainly about like good lane control from both Ray and Pablo. And you can see like Mercy was looking around, but they crashed the wave. Nobody is here to stop the crash. No need to step up. You're not really looking to get like the tower that early into the game. You're just looking at keeping your tempo up, and it's very important that you go back to buy your triple longbow. I have to admit I wasn't expecting that triple longbow buy, but I guess like no, we want a little bit more DPS with the attack speed, and that's what we're going for here. Probably going into the Sky Splitter because we're facing like a Rampage plus a Sevrog, and here we're looking at maybe going for the snipe. We got the snipe. We didn't even like lose a lot of time by just like landing the snipe, and that's another kill for Pablo, and that put Pablo like ahead of Jay even more. Hello, Happy Picker. And here we go for the skewer after the hook, and here little things that seems pretty evident, but I see so many Murdock missing that I will like just explain it here. You see that Pablo go for the auto attack, and he used the buckshot as a finishing move. He doesn't use the buckshot early in the fight, because the problem of using the buckshot early in the fight is then you push away your opponent, and then you have to chase after him. So it's much better to use the buckshot as a finishing move, and also like the added advantage of using the buckshot as a finishing move, like you're not losing like DPS overall because you're never gonna get 2 buckshot in the fight, but that means you also like keep your backshot up longer in case the enemy team like try to counter engage on you or do some aggressive move or the jungler arrive, you still have your buckshot up as a defensive tool. So please, Murdock player, when there is like a wombo combo situation like we have seen here from Ray on the Rictor, auto attack and just use the buckshot as a finishing move. In the meantime, the enemy team is trying like to force the Fangtus. Pablo is slightly late. They decided to go for the reset, and so Deja Vu like very well played by them, to be fair. We can see that the Snoop was rotating. Even Warsaming was definitely looking towards getting like that objective for themselves. Like Mercy is very happy that he can play the game into Steel, Grux and Rictor. JK it could not because too many CC. But like Deja Vu did a very great job here. Like the dual lane take the tier 1 tower and they immediately reset it, and you can see that even was timing like all collapsing toward the Fangtus, but Deja Vu recognized that they have like a small window to take it, and it was almost like a clean Fangtus. But immediately even worse timing decided to answer and go for the mini prime, because now it's the window that the enemy team is going to go back. And so usually in the early mid game in Predecessor, you kind of have like this battle of priority. Like if you have like a priority moment, usually at some point you will have to reset to back to base, and you're probably gonna offer a priority back to the enemy team, and that's exactly what you have seen. Dual lane create a play to take the tier 1 tower. That means that they expend some resources to get that set up on the map, so they have to go back to base. Immediately Deja Vu take the advantage of that priority that they gain from the fact that the enemy team relieved the pressure to get their own Fangtus. But then that means that after the Feng Tooth got disengaged, that means that now they have to go back to base themselves. And so that shift the priority back towards even worse timing, that use that priority to secure the mini prime for themselves. In the meantime, we have 111 CS to 84. We are full item up. The crest is already finished. Like Jay can absolutely do nothing against Pablo at that point. He's 2 level down. He's losing half of his health to do a 5 camp. And like Pablo, like this 1v1 is not existing. Like Pablo is so free to apply the pressure he wants in the 1v1 that we always have to get like some rotation from the rest of the team to actually help Jay at that point. And here we're starting to apply pressure on the tier 2 tower. Pablo can afford to do that because Ray is covering and offering him vision. So as a carry, you can't pressure a tier 2 tower if you don't have vision in the jungle of what like the team is going. Here we see that Mercy is coming. We do have Grossy. We try to go like for the jump. We get the flash away. We get the hook. Skewer. Ray accepting to sacrificing himself to actually like save Pablo. But he used like the Rift Walker, the Skewer, the Reflash and everything. But in the end, like Pablo is alive, they got like the double flash, but they don't get any kills and the BMOS is down. Now we got the rotation from Shin, trying to go aggressive onto Jay. You see like the damages from 1 auto attack plus buckshot. Like Pablo is huge. And so we keep securing those gold buff. We keep advancing toward the farming. As you can see, import is on the right side of the map, so they can't keep this pressure up on the tier 2 tower since Mercy is around and they don't have any flash up, they don't have skewers, they don't really have like tools to actually fight. Little thing also that you can see like is Pablo is playing like from like the left side of the lane. There is 2 benefits from that when you're a carry. First, you're far away from the fog wall, and when you're a Murdock, you also like can keep looking at the map while you're farming to see if your snipe is needed or not.
Allied tower under attack.
So we are going back to lane, keep the farm up. Ray is coming back, Skewer is going to be back up pretty soon if it's not already back up. As you can see, it's already back up. So any hook should be like a dead Bellica or a dead Drongo. Maybe not dead Drongo because you probably get the Liberator as we have seen, we do. And so here we're creating like pressure to get like the next Feng Tooth that is going to respawn. Pablo keeping his farm up, getting like the priority on the dual lane. Of course, like not overstepping his boundaries. Like he's allowed to walk there because his team has full control of this fog wall, but he can't work furthermore because his team doesn't have control of the other fog wall. And that's why like you see Pablo regrouping with his team, trying to create like some opportunity. And Mercy like just like pick a little bit of shoulder, forced to jump immediately away because if the Reflash connect, he would have taken like half of his health. And suddenly like maybe force an engage. Here the team is playing kind of slow. We try to go for the Rift Walker into the Skewer. That's secure like a kill. Pablo always like staying like behind his teammate, of course. We try to go for the snipe to get the kill onto Mercy. It's not enough. To be fair, I do feel like Pablo was slightly mispositioned here. So we're gonna watch that again. I think like he could have done like slightly better in that team fight. As you can see, like Pablo is here, and here there is like Ray that is like probably gonna look for the corner. And I think as Pablo, probably like you would be better to be like playing like more here on that grass, so you don't get like you want to be able to auto attack if like Ray get like a skewer in the stairs. And if you're in that position, like here, you have no angle to auto attack. So what would have been better from Pablo is playing like a little bit you still need to keep the space because you don't want to get engaged by the Sevarog ultimate, and so that's something you have to be careful to not offer like such an easy like Sevarog ultimate. Of course, something to be mindful, but I think since Ray is going to for this positioning, as you can see like here, Pablo's still like stepping back, like Pablo should be already there, and here like he can already keep auto attacking, and that would have been like, you see like we're gonna see like how much time like Pablo lose to actually be able to follow up that skewer. And now he can get like the first auto attack in, which is like already 2 seconds late, and it could have been already like been doing like 3 auto attack, and maybe suddenly we got also like the kill on Mercy, because then like Ray is not forced to use the replash onto the Sevarog to secure the kill, and then he can replash the Rampage, and that's a double kill. So here, slight positional mistake here from Pablo. Should have probably like played closer to his like Rictor that was going to set up a fight and a moment. And that's like where like carry in team fight, it's really about like all those micro positioning to be able to dish out the maximum DPS while remaining safe. And here we can see they still secure the Fang Tooth, they still get a kill, but they kind of drop a kill in the situation that can maybe have opened up slightly more something. Maybe that also means that no Mercy is dead, so he can't farm, so suddenly Import gets ahead, and that have all sort of implication that it's not the end of the world, but you did not maximize your potential. And so it's interesting to see, because even like the top carries in the game, they're still like not playing perfectly. Like everyone has room for growth and to improve, and that's what like I think makes Pred such a great game. I feel like actually playing perfect is something that is super hard to achieve in Predecessor, and so that's great, because there is always like the skill ceiling is so far away that it's actually like very enjoyable as an experience to learn yourself, but also as to watch competitive, because there is like no perfect play, and if there is no perfect play all the time, that means that there are always excitement and opportunity for comeback. So we're working towards the Demolisher here. We're probably gonna finish it probably with the 1700. And so here we have like a huge item power spike. Like you can see how ridiculous that is coming. Like third item finish when we don't even have the second item being finished on the side of Jay. And having such a difference on the carry roll, 3 level down also makes it like so hard to play for the side of Deja Vu, because their carry don't do a lot of damage, and he can't farm either. And that's like something like when you're a carry and you're falling that far behind, that makes it so hard, because you can never step up to farm the lane. The other carry is like in full control of the game. And here we can see another little pickup by Pablo across the map, following like the engage on the right side. And so like even basically like Pablo is applying pressure on 2 lane at the same time with this long arm of the low. And here you see like the rest of Deja Vu is forced like to go defend the right side of the map, which means that Jay is now alone against like Ray and Pablo, when Jay couldn't like even defend if it was Pablo alone. And so here we're going to try to secure this tier 2 tower. We do so pretty convincingly. Jay cannot even step up, so that means that all this farm that was like under tower got like absolutely lost for Jay, and it's falling like even further behind, like a full item down. It's absolutely insane. And so if the enemy team is not forcing Pablo away from that situation, like Pablo is gonna keep like applying pressure. As you can see, like Pablo keep like forcing the enemy team like, oh, you need to react to me, otherwise I'm just gonna be like a nuisance to you. So here we do have the Sevarog rotating, BKB maybe looking for Pablo. They see the wards, Pablo going further back to not get like picked up. Already placing a trap, so if the Sevarog was arriving, you could play around that trap if he wants to. And here you can see like Pablo maxing the Steam Pack to get like the, I think it's the Hot Pursuit now that it's actually like cold, to be able to just like move fast around the map, but that's a very hefty cost of mana, and decided to play not with a static trap. I do believe on Murdock, like both, like you always max buckshot first, like there is no question, but then the Hot Pursuit and the static trap, I think like there is actually like a choice to be made here depending on what you prefer and also like what the enemy team is doing. Hot Pursuit allow you like to be very aggressive and like kind of chain like fast when you get like the hot pursuit level max because it's very low CD. But that also means that it's like a hefty cost on your mana. While the static trap allows you to set up a lot of objective, because when you have 5 mine that are very well placed on the map, it's actually like super hard to contest objective, and you always have a mine up that can like actually like be very clutch in play.
An allied tower is destroyed.
So we do secure a kill. Here we do accept that Jay was split pushing to kind of secure this R-Prime. As we can see, like they kill one and they force 2 people to 1 HP. So that's gonna be the R-Prime secured. Jay is so far behind that he's taking this opportunity to actually like get some farm on the left side and also getting some tower. But that's at the cost of the R-Prime. And so that means that now we have the R-Prime on 5 people when even worse timing is actually like very, very far ahead. We're gonna go for the reset, pushing back the lanes, and probably that's gonna be a moment that all tier 2 tower are going to fall down. We're gonna try to secure also the primal Fangtus. I would assume Jay is going back to base, then getting catch. But now you have to defend a primal Fangtus. That is the triple Fangtus opportunity for the start of even worse timing, with a team that is full of R-Prime. That's gonna be a very tough call. Of course, here Pablo also with the ping buff, so that's a lot of damage he can do. Already placing like 2 traps at the entry, as you can see. So, and here we actually like disengage the primal Fangtus when the enemy team wasn't like in a position to actually contest it. Here Pablo staying like into the backline, dealing some damage to BKB, being careful of the fact that Mercy can flank it, and so you can see he reposition himself to be certain that he's safe, and then he re-engage, find the auto attack on Mercy, we get the kill. I feel like the primal was kind of free, but they decided to just like counter engage. Despite the fact that the enemy team was quite far away, they didn't want to go for any 50-50, and in the end they do secure. If they secure the primal, like even if everyone is kind of low, it doesn't really matter because the R-Prime is gonna like bring them back up on health, and then they can just like pressure like all the lanes. So Pablo going to catch the wave. Yeah, I agree with you in port. It's just like also it makes me hard to actually comment it because I don't know how the health was. I feel like you had like a lot of damage and the objective was like very, like in my opinion it was kind of low, but I don't know if it was like at 7k or if it was at 4k and they were like pretty far away. So I feel like you could have like finished it, but once again it's just like me assuming because I don't know the health. Okay, if it's 10k, 8k it's a little bit too much and definitely we need to turn. So, in the meantime, when we were discussing with the chat here, we do have Pablo that is trying like to split push, and here you can see like he's going very aggressive, but this time we have nobody that is actually covering the jungle. So as the carry, you need to be very careful because like you can get collapse on, and that's the thing. Like here, in my opinion, Pablo is making a mistake. So here it's very important to talk about like split pushing. So split pushing is basically you need to apply pressure on the enemy team, but you need to also like remain safe. Like the idea, since you have like, here you have a 1-2-2. So we have 1 person on the left lane, 2 person in the mid lane, 2 person on the right lane. So what you're looking for here is actually you want to apply pressure, but the people, like the risk when you're doing this type of split is that you can get collapse on. So the first thing you do when you're on your lane, you count how many people is in your lane. Here on the side of Pablo, I have only 1 person, myself. How many people is actually visible in the enemy team? You see BKB here on left. We see the rest of the team probably like see Simba and Gucci on right. So you see 3 people. That's the information you have. The Rampage and the Drongo you don't know about. So as Pablo is, if Sevrog and Rampage and Drongo arrive, can I win the 1v3? That's a question you should ask because you don't know where they are, so they can't be around you. So that's the first question you should ask yourself. If the answer is yes, then keep pushing, you're fine. But if the answer is no, like you should play slow while waiting for your team to gather more experience, more information on where are the enemy team, and while playing in a position that is safe for yourself. And the position that is safe for yourself here is not with the minion. Is behind that fog wall, because that fog wall is actually like a big trap. And so for now you have to weight as Pablo if you're going for the split push. Pablo doesn't do that, and so in the end, we can see that he see the Drongo, the Rampage arrive, he didn't respect that, we got the root, we tried to go for the damage, Pablo killing Mercy though, and he's trying like to go for the play, but we lose Pablo, and this 1-for-1 trade is actually like to the advantage of the side of Even Worse Timing, because Pablo was pretty big, they had the Ore Prime, it was one of like the guy that has the most kill on the team, like you can see like big portion of the farm is on Pablo, Pablo has 4 items strong, it was like completely dominating, and the fact of losing Pablo here for just like not respecting the split push is actually a pretty huge blow. In the end, they still like managed to find a pick on Jay, BKB is at 1 HP using the Sapphire's Mantle plus the Skewer, and they got the double kill. And so they kind of managed to salvage the fight on the side of Even Worse Timing because they are that far ahead. But Pablo griefed very, very hard because he didn't apply the basic principle, the fundamentals of split pushing. And so now we get like all inhibitors. Trying to go for the hook, Mercy like jumping away from it. We get like a good chain CC, using the landmine to help the disengage. And now we're just like gonna reset, spend all the golds, but before you reset, as a good rule of thumb, steal the enemy jungle, because that's more farm and more gold for you, and the enemy team can't really contest that, and that's less gold and less experience for the enemy team, so that's a good rule of thumb to do. Pablo, to be fair, like Pablo walking here is kind of grief as well, but it's fine. Like his whole team is disengaging while he's going like very deep to place a ward. He can get chased down and probably killed, so like once again, like it's a play that have almost no benefit, that is actually like pretty risky, and that can like be a problem for then like the next fight. To be fair, Pablo dying in that situation wouldn't have fair into like anything besides like offering a huge shutdown to someone, and that huge shutdown can actually like be actually like well, it's not a huge shutdown because they already got it, but yeah, it's still like don't offer like free kills to gain nothing, or like free kills opportunity to gain nothing. So here we're just like trying to find like some picks on the side. Oh, unfortunately like a little bit of miscommunication here, but and so we tried to flash away. We got the shield slam. If the communication would have been perfect between Import and Ray, that would have been a kill on BKB, but unfortunately, like even the best players sometimes don't chain perfectly their CC. And here we're just looking at applying pressure with like all the very like the big minions and trying like to finish the game. And the idea here is if we can finish the game now, it's very good. But even if we don't finish the game, we keep like applying a lot of pressure, which means that as soon as the objective respawn, then we can simply disengage on the objective. The enemy team needs to defend while having no vision on the map. And that makes the game very hard. So it's always like a good stuff, even if you're not looking to fully finish, and you don't have to finish, but just like the best play to do at that situation. Keep the wave pouring in into the base. So even when, if we don't manage to successfully kill the enemy team and secure the core, you can always like get the objective or primal Fanctus afterwards very, very, very easy. And so here you can see BKB trying like to find an entry into Pablo, but then he gets hooked. That's the kill. In the meantime, like the Snoop is getting very low, but that means that we also lose Mercy, so we're trading so far. We try to go for the shield slam, Import missing like the shield slam and the bull rush, but that means that create like a window of opportunity for all the minions to bore into the core and then auto attacking the core, and Even Worse Timing securing a game once again without Ore Prime. And I kind of like to see that. I kind of wish that most teams are going to learn about like how to secure towers, structures without relying on this Ore Prime buff. And so for any team out there that is looking for that, Even Worse Timing is your place to go.